One of the last things we're looking at in this measurement topic is volume. And this is continuing on the same ideas that you have encountered in the past. And volume, we've already done something like this earlier. Volume is how much stuff can be inside the cube. So we're not talking about the surface area, we're just talking about what can be inside. And we measure volume in cubed units. And the reason we do that is because if this is centimeters, and that's centimeters, and that's centimeters, volume is timesing all three of those things together. So you end up with centimeters times centimeters times centimeters, centimeters cubed. So let's quickly do an example with this one. 4, 5, 7. The volume is going to equal the surface area of the face times by the perpendicular height. It's a fancy way of saying just times by the depth. So the face is 4 times 7, and then times by the depth is 5, and that equals 140, I'm going to use centimeters, cubed. Same thing with our triangular prisms. If you know the area of the face, which is this, then you can just times it by the depth and you've got your volume. So let's put in some measurements for this. Let's call that 6, let's call this 10, let's call this 20. The surface area of the face is 6 times 10 divided by 2, and that equals 30. And then the volume will be 30 times 20, and that equals 600 centimeters cubed. Cylinders are the same thing. You just have to find the surface area of the face and then times it by the height. So let's put in some information here. Let's make this 5, and the height can be 10. The surface area for the face of the cylinder is pi r squared, and that's going to equal pi times 5 squared, which equals 78.5 centimeters squared. That's the surface area of the face, times it by the perpendicular height. So the volume equals 78.5 times 10, and that equals 785 centimeters cubed. The same idea applies to composite shapes. If you can figure out the surface area for the face, then all you need to do is times it by the perpendicular height, the depth, and you've got your volume. Let's have a go at this one. Let's make this 8, 6, 5 there. We can go up 3, and that means that is going to be 5. And if I make this 4, then that means this has to be 2, because 4 and 2 make 6. 4 and 2 make 6, and 3 and 5 make 8. So let's figure out the surface area for this one. Well, we have two rectangles here, and that is 2 by 8. So here's 8 times 2, so we can figure out that. That is 8 times 2 equals 16 centimeters squared. And then our final rectangle is this one here, and that's 3 times 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. So the total face area equals 12 plus 16, and that equals 28 centimeters squared. So we've got 28 centimeters squared, and let's make some room for ourselves. sorry, doing this the long way, 28 centimeters squared the volume is going to equal 28 times 5, and that equals, let's see if I can do this in my head, 140, I hope. Again, nothing tricky. It looks tricky, but if you just find the surface area of that face, and you can see that it's two rectangles, just times it by the perpendicular height, and you've got your volume. You can even do something as difficult as this. It looks difficult, how am I going to find the volume of this? Well, at the moment it's hard because there's no values, but you can do it. You've got the skills to do it. Let's make all of these the same length to make it easier for ourselves, but the same principles are going to apply. So they're all the same length, and I'm going to make it 5 because I like working in 5s. And here I've got 5 squares. Can you see them? Well, here, 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 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 squares. What's the surface area? What's the area of a square? Well, it's just the length squared, yeah? And I have 5 squares, so that's going to be the surface area of my face, and that equals 125. And then if I give it a depth value, let's make it 4, well then the volume is going to equal 125 times 4, which equals 500 centimeters cubed. So I think after all that difficult work we've done with surface area of composite shapes and 3D shapes, that volume is just a nice easy progression. You just find that surface area of the face, no matter what shape it is, you still use the same formulas, so trapeziums, parallelograms, all shapes, triangles, and then you just times it by the depth or the perpendicular height. Alright, I hope that's been clear. Any questions, leave them in the comments below, and if not, good luck.